Alright, let's look at 1.3. It talks about lines. So the first one they ask you is find the intercepts and graph the function. So you find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and then you graph it. So to find an x-intercept, you let y equal 0. 4 times 0 is nothing, so you just get 3x equals 12. Divided by 3. To find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0. 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. 4y equals 12, y equals 3. Now why do we do that? Because if you want to find a place where it crosses the x-axis, there's one thing in common with all these points on the x-axis. This is the point 0, 0. This is 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0. So notice one thing in common, they all have y equals 0. And the same thing for the y-intercept, x equals 0 for each of these points. So that's why you set x to 0 to find the y. Okay, and once you have those, you can plot the point 4, 0 and 0, 3, and then connect the dots. You might want to get a ruler, some sort of straight edge, to help you with these problems, to make sure your lines are nice. You can also do graph paper if you want, but that's up to you. Number 5, 5x minus 8y equals 60. So they wanted us to write this in, what did they say? For question 5. Or question 3, this is actually question 3. 5x minus 8y equals 60, find the intercepts and graph it. Alright, so you can solve this for y, and you see your slope is 5/8 and your y-intercept is it's always known as b. It's negative 15 over 2. Of course you didn't find your x-intercept, did you? Let's find that one. X-intercept. So it's 5x minus 8 times 0 equals 60. So that's 5x equals 60. Divide by 5 and you get x equals 12. So that's 12, 0. 0, negative 15 over 2. Okay. So you can plot 12 out here and negative 15 over 2 down here, and there you go. Alright, you didn't need to find the slope for this one. All you needed to do was to find these 2 points here, and it's good enough to graph it. Number 9 asks you to find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. So y2 minus y1, 2 minus 2, x2 minus x1, negative 1 minus 3. 2 minus 2 is 0, bottom is minus 4, 0 over minus 4 is 0. Number 11, if a line is a horizontal line, then its slope is, it's 0. Horizontal line has slope 0. A vertical line has slope undefined. Okay, a vertical line has an undefined slope. A horizontal line has a slope of 0. Okay, and this is positive slope, and here is negative slope. Alright, so 13 asks you to find the slope of this line. Well, when you do your y-coordinates, y2 minus y1, you're going to get 2 minus 2 is 0 again, so you know it's going to be 0. Number 15, they show you 2 different lines and determine the slope. So 15, you got one that's going down from left to right, so it's negative, and one that's going straight up and down, so that's undefined. 17 says find the slope, y-intercept, and graph it. Well, the slope is just the number in front of x when you have y equals. This is the slope and this is the y-intercept. Okay? So how do you graph that? Well, you can graph B is minus 1/4 right there, and M is 7/3. That means you rise 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over 3. And there you go. Connect the dots. So this tells you how far to rise. This tells you how far to run. 19 says you got the equation y equals 3. Find the slope and the y-intercept. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line going through 3, so it's got a slope of 0, and its y-intercept is 3. X equals -8 is a vertical line going through -8, so it's undefined slope and it doesn't have a y-intercept. 27 gives you the slope and the y-intercept, and they say write it in slope-intercept form with the given slope and y-intercept. So slope, intercept form equals y equals mx plus b. Okay, there's another form which is called point slope form. And that's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You can always tell which one is which because the name gives it away. This one requires the point and the slope. Well, you got your slope there and you got 1 point, x1, y1. This is the slope and the intercept because it gives you the slope and it gives you the intercept. Okay? So, if you have M and you have B, just plug them in. That's your answer. And what does your graph look like? Well, I graphed 0, 1/2. And then here I plugged in a 2. And I got -4 plus 1/2, which is -3.5. And I connected the dots. Alright, so now 25, same thing. M is 1/2, y-intercept is -3, so you just plug them in. Now how do you graph those? Well, your y-intercept is at -3 where it crosses the y-axis. Your M is 1/2, but I just said what if x is 6? 6 times 1/2 is 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. So I got 2 points and I connected the dots. 29. They give you a point in the slope and ask you to find the equation of a line. Okay, so you plug in 2 for x, 0 for y, and -5 for m, and you can figure out what b is. That's -10. Add 10 and you get b is 10. So now that you know b is 10, you get 10 and m is 5, -5. And there's your equation. So it crosses at 10. And if you plug in a 2 for x, you get 0. So it crosses at 2, 0. And you connect the dots. Alright, so 31, it gives you 1 point in the slope, and it says find the equation of a line and graph it. So they give you 1 point in the slope. I'd use point slope form. So plug this in for x1 and y1. x1 is -1, y1 is 4, m is -3/4. So now it's just a matter of algebra. These two minuses become plus. Distribute that -3/4, then add 4 to a -3/4, and you get positive 13/4. Okay, so what do I graph? I graph 13/4, a little bit larger than 3. And I said actually I think I did -3 over 4. So I dropped 3 units and I ran 4. So you can always use rise over run. I used -3 over 4. A rise of -3 is actually a fall of 3 units, so if it's a little bit larger than 3, it's a little bit larger than 0. And then you want to run 4 units to the right, because positive is to the right, negative is to the left. So you go to the right, and you got your second point, connect your dots. Remember, when you're dealing with slope, the top number positive means rise, go up. The top number negative means fall, you go down. Bottom number positive, you go to the right. Bottom number negative, you go to the left. Generally speaking, when you have a negative number for slope, you got to put the negative somewhere. You can't leave it out front. I put it on the top so that the bottom is always positive. Alright, so now this one asks you, given these 2 points, find the slope. Okay, so y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. You find your slope. Okay, you plug in your 2 there. And I can use either one of these points for my x1, y1. I choose this one. x1, 3, y1, 2. I simplify by distributing the 2 and bringing over the minus 2. And we do the same thing with 36. We first find the slope, 4 minus 2, 2 minus -4. Get 1/3. So that goes there for m. And I used x1 is -4, y1 is 2. So I plug those in here. I distribute my negative, or my 1/3. Then I add 2 to the 1/3, and I get 10/3. And there's my answer. 37, same thing. You find your slope using the same. 37, same thing. You find your slope using the slope formula, and then you plug in m is 1/13, and x is 7, and y is 3. And that way you can figure out what b is. So you get 7/13 plus b equals 3. I multiplied by 13 to get rid of the fraction. Okay, so then I want BL by itself, so I subtract 7. I divide by 13 and I get 32/13. So y equals mx plus b, or you can write it this way, but this is generally the way you want to write it. Alright, so number 40, they give you a picture and they say write the equation of a line. When you look at the picture, you see that your y-intercept is 3, and if you drop 3 units and run to the right 9, you get -3/9 is your slope, okay, which is minus 1/3. So minus 1/3 and 3, there's your answer. Now 51, they give you p equals 1.19x plus 58, and they say find the slope and the p-intercept. Well, the slope is simply the number in front of x. The intercept is that second number. Now they say, what does that slope mean? Well, it means 1.19% increase per year. Then they ask you to graph it, and you can graph 0.58, and it shoots up at 1.19 units per number.